Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Transforming Culture class. And I'm Pastor Marvin Adolfo. I'll be partnering with uh, Kuya Poli in this class. And again, I'm privileged to be part of your journey here in IGSL. And it will be my third time to facilitate this class. And I praise God since 2012 when I started teaching at IGSL. I'm privileged to journey with a lot of students who are now back in their countries, serving the Lord and making disciples, transforming their own culture and their own communities. And today, let me start by sharing to you my personal journey and my ministry in this agenda of making disciples in all nations and the call to transform our culture. Let me start with introducing to you the program called Truth Centered Transformation. And for the past 3 years, I've been part of this uh, Transforming Nation Alliance, okay, or DNA. And in this introduction, um, part of my goal is to explain to you what are the keys to transformation. What does transformation mean to you? Okay, how would you describe it? What do we need to do to see real transformation in our communities and in our nation? So, for the past 3 years, I've been also, you know, desiring to see real life transformation in my ministry and also in the communities that I'm serving and at the same time in the Philippines. So let me start our story of truth-centered transformation. It started with the goal to really see people move out of poverty. One of the issue in our society right now is to help people move out of poverty. And how can we see real transformation from these poor people, poor communities in our country? So I've been attending a lot of training, seminars, reading books, and looking for ways, looking for principle, looking for ways that we can really see real life transformation among the urban poor communities and even in the rural community. So praise God, because of Disciple Nation Alliance, I was able to 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 realize many things. And the Disciple Nation Alliance taught us three basic things about transformation. That first, God cares about all areas of your life. Before, I have this mindset that God is only concerned with my spiritual life. And actually, God cares not just with your spiritual life, but even your physical life, all the areas of our life. The second idea that I got from Discipling Nation Alliance is the importance of the local church, that God works through his local church. And there was a story, in Asia, I think in Vietnam, that uh, there are many programs run by NGOs, no? And in this part of uh, a community or very rural, poor community, the organization, I will not mention the name of the organization, spent a lot of, dollars, millions of dollars. But after many years of doing, relief operation, relief help, developmental help, uh, feeding, giving a lot of, resources and all, and they realize that there's little enough or little or small, changes that only happen in that community. Why? They realize that they've been serving the community, helping the community, apart or outside the help of the church. And then we realized that we need to include the local church to see real transformation in the community. So that's the second important idea we got from DNA. And also another important, I think, concept that DNA taught us is the ideas that have consequences. Your idea, the mindset of people, the worldview, the perspective of, of a person will affect, will impact his life. Ideas have consequences. What are the example of those? First, um, in many parts of Asia, we have this idea that we are born poor and die poor, that God controls everything. And I think in your country, in some of Asian countries, even Filipinos, they believe this, that it's okay to live poor and die poor because our grandparents, our parents, they live poor, and it's okay to also die poor. And the spirits, no, they're afraid of the spirits, and they believe that the gods, no, control everything, and they could not do something about that, no. And it's an idea that you know enslave a lot of people, and I believe this is idea that Satan put in the minds of the poor. That's why until today they're still poor. Another idea, no, that many people believe is we are not important. It's okay not to be, to study. It's okay not to go to high school or college. We are not important, you know, and people think that way. And another, I think, ideas that has consequences that God only cares about spiritual things. No? God only focus on the spiritual things. I think that's a lie. That's a great lie. God also is concerned with the other areas of our life, not including our physical, including our relational and other, our financial and other aspect of our life. God is not only concerned about spiritual thing of our life. We need someone to help us, and we can do anything ourselves. So this is a colonial mentality, a worldview that we need aid, we need help. There should be someone who should come to us and help us. If none will come to us, if there's no aid, there's no dole out and anything, there's no financial support, we can do nothing. If there's no money from the West or from other developed countries, if there's no support, then we can do something to help ourselves. I think that's a great lie that Satan uh, imparted to many poor people. And another idea that has a lot of consequences when people think that we are too poor to give. We don't have something, that's why we're not able to give. See? And many people, even Christians, they have this kind of mindset. They don't give because they're thinking that they don't have something to give. And I think the best important principle that we learn also is to use what you have to show God's love to your community. It's what the local church have, what the Christians possess, or what are the blessing that we have so that we can help others. We don't need to get outside support to help other people. We can show God's love through our own resources, through what God has blessed us. So again, these teachings that we learned from DNA, we're able to put it into writing, develop a training program, and we TCT was started with 10 churches. Okay, I think 15 years ago, and from 10 churches, we're able to. The goal is to train these local churches using these principles, using the biblical truth. And we started with 10, and God, allowed us to teach it into 160 churches. And and it turned out there are 600 churches undergone the training, and they started to learn the biblical principles, how to transform their communities, how to apply biblical truths, how to obey God. And what happened? They say they have said that we had been transformed. And praise God for the past, I think, 15 years that TCT has been running in Asia, and now it's in Africa and other third world countries. I think we already have around 25,000 churches from 20 plus countries are now using TCT program. And in the Philippines, we've been using this for 3 years, and we've seen a lot of stories, those who learned the biblical principle, they applied it, they obeyed it, and they taught it to their congregation. The congregation started to love their neighbor and also start doing some acts of love. And they have said, they also told us, we have been transformed. Our church had been transformed, our communities had been transformed. So that's our story. No? Transformation, it happens when there's physical changes. So the economic status of the community changes. And also there's a physical changes. Before they don't have latrines, now they're able to put, latrines, setting up latrines for health purposes. And those who don't have good housing, safe and suitable housing, they build their own houses through the help of the local church. And there's a spiritual growth among the church members. And there's a spiritual, growth also. People become more passionate about God. And they've seen social results, social impact when the people in the community develop good relationship in the church, because they start to love their neighbors. There's a good relationship happening on. And again, these are the effects of transformation. There's also a social transformation. The strong marriages and families, okay, are being built because of following the biblical principles on marriage. So social, there's good relationship with the government. There's a story that, because of what they're doing in the community, because of what the church is doing in the community, the government observe it, and the government, like what they're doing, and now they're having a good relationship with the government. And there's also mental development. Before, people don't send their children to school. Now, because they learn that the importance of education, they started to send their children to school to for education. And again, the story of transformation. There are over 5,500 communities that moved out of poverty. This is only in one country, no? And we've seen a lot of countries right now, in different countries right now, in Africa, in Asia, in other parts of the world, that those who learn the biblical truth, obey it in their personal, family, and church context, they've seen real transformation. So again, this is my story that I would like to share to you. So what are the three things that stick out as you listen to the TCT program story? What are the 3 to 4 questions that you hope you want to answer in the next sessions? And what is similar or different in our approach to others that you have seen? Okay. So, and I'll be happy to interact with you, to chat with you, to discuss with you how we can see real transformation in our community and in our country. And I pray that as we move forward uh, in this uh, transforming culture class, I'll be able to journey with you to help you, assist you in transforming your church, your communities, and God willing, your countries as well. So looking forward to our next session.